Hello, welcome back to Oolykee Gaming and welcome back to another episode of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic Mod Monday, and we have the highest number of realistic buildings ever. That would be in this Mod Monday series, that is. Okay, first, a disclaimer. All of these mods are just my personal pick, that I think they're something to pay attention to, and also this video is just like my personal opinion on those. There's no connection, they're better or worse. Also, second disclaimer, Gellier, sorry. Mr. Gellier made a lot of maps, mostly Canada, beautiful country, okay, second most beautiful country in this game after our own Soviet Republic, and you need to check them out. They're really nice if you want realistic terrains, realistic landscapes. Check out the maps. We will not be featuring in this video. I think they deserve video on their own. If I find time, I will make it, but check out the Steam workshop for a lot of amazing mods. Mr. Strawberry Jam, UnityPoint Clinic. This is a clinic based in United States. This is a clinic based on a real one in Des Moines, Iowa, USA. It serves 20 workers, 4 doctors, 5 ambulances, 16 patients, 1 road connection, 4 pedestrian connection, no collision while placing. This is the new love I found towards these kind of clinics. It can be these kind of buildings that don't have collisions. You can see here, if we go all the way to the hospital section, you have it here as a last building, Des Moines Clinic in Iowa. It doesn't have any collisions and it has a lot of pedestrian connections to it. You will have to, if you try to put it on the hilly ground, you might have some issues, so be sure that you level the ground around it at least as much as you can. This will definitely help you place it. But anyway, for more information about this, check out the link in the description. There's a link to this clinic. Next up, Mr. Rob's 074 vehicle production line based on a real building in Lublin, Poland. Employs 1,200 workers with basic education, 300 engineers. Has same productivity per worker and resource consumption per worker as a vanilla one. So this is just realistic building. Again, this is the second one in this Mod Monday. A second realistic building that is based on a real factory in real life. This is my favorite thing, realistic buildings from real life. Anyway, check it out in the description. It's enormous, it's absolutely huge, and you can find it also in production line section of your mod section. Here we go, it's enormous. And again, we have Mr. Rob 074, a big plastics factory. Big plastics factory based on a real building in Lublin, Poland, employs 200 people, requires 10,000 chemicals, and so on. And so on. You can see here when you click on it that it produces plastics out of chemicals and oil, and of course electricity. And this is a bigger version of the mod he already put out. This is definitely not my favorite because I think it overproduces a lot of plastic. Plastic is something that is useless to export because it costs a lot of money for us to deal with this. To produce plastics. So exporting plastics, definitely. Big fashion, no. And we have Mr. Vicom with Hotel Avion. This is the second most famous functionalist building in Brno, and slowly we're gonna be able to recreate the whole Brno with the pace that Mr. Vicom is putting these mods out. So this is one of the most narrowest hotels in Europe. It's famous, functionalist. There's a story behind it. I will not tell it. You need to go into the description of this video and click on the link where this hotel is linked in, and go and check it out. Everything about this hotel. It's iconic, historical, and real building from real life. Mr. Wicom number 2, Brno Expo Center Pavilion G. There's a history between this. It was built between 1927 and 28. There is again the story about this. There's a little real-life towers, 45 meters tall, and it was used to be open for visitors. You can see all the details, description and history of the building in the link of this video. Go and check out the Brno Expo Center, Pavilion G, and also Google the history of this place. Here it serves as an attraction. You can see it here, viewpoint attraction. It's quite a big building, but it's iconic and historical, and definitely goes on my list. Check out the description. Mr. Billman007 1-464DM. There's a description in the link for these buildings. Check them out. It's in Russian. I did not use Google Translate for this, but basically he explains in the description that you should place this building on a flat grounds because they don't have any collisions. Now, why I included this mod as well? Because this is something new I'm kind of finding really good and attractive to have these no collision buildings to construct on. So what's the deal with them? I think most of the buildings in the game, they have an issue when you try to place them. They have a too big of a footprint, and it kind of causes a little bit of a bad vibe. I prefer these no collision buildings, and then I like to level all the ground where I place them, so it kind of looks more realistic when you can put these kind of buildings everywhere. So it's really cool. Now, building population, it's quite realistic, even I would say even less than realistic. I think these buildings should fit more people in them, but I'm loving these buildings anyway. So on the realistic side of things, it's definitely realistic. You can always count them as more luxurious apartment buildings if you don't like the capacity of them, but I can say that they definitely will fit any city. Now check Mr. Billman007's mod in the description of the video. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. If not, leave a comment in there, and leave a comment on this video as well. Right, description. Mr. Gorbachev, 36-story residential tower. I don't know how else can I describe Mr. Gorbachev's work, but it's definitely monstrosities. A similar building was built Koroshevo-Nevniki area of the SZAO Moscow, built 400 apartments, 800 workers. The project was created through the standard building editor using prefab materials, but it's inspired by the real building. Now, actually, this building has a lot of, I would say, internal decorator nightmares. You can see the angles of the apartments here. It's definitely really nice building, especially if you're going for this high density population. But these apartments here, I think internal decorators are going crazy, and OCD people with this lines not being straight, but it's pointed out there as well. So Mr. Gorbachev with the classic work that he usually does. It's mega huge, enormous building. I think many of you are gonna like this one. Now check the link in the description and go check out the mod. Okay, UK council flat. I didn't build them yet. I will. Mr. Bremert. Mr. Bremer, but Bremert nickname in the workshop. He created these small buildings. These are UK council flats. They only have 32 capacity of 32 people. You can see that they are 4 stories high, and I would say that it would be around 4 apartments per each, and they're not really so social. I think they look decently sized. This is something also I've been looking into a lot recently with the small buildings, especially in the suburbs of big cities, just to make it nice and slopey skyline of your, well, before mentioned cities. This is something really good. Now again, this is based on a real life UK council flats, so we have a lot of Czech, American, Polish, Russian, and UK stuff here in the map. We're gonna have German as well, trust you me. Right, so this is UK council flats, 32 people. Mr. Bramard, you can check it in the description of the video. Right, if any of you played ever the farming simulator videos, you will know that there's a brand called Fortschritt. That's an Eastern German brand. There's a lot of these machinery harvesters, tractors all over the place in that game, in real life as well. And we have Mr. Iodar, I would say. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but Iodar, he made the pack called ZT300. Now, this is my favorite. This is my favorite of this mod Monday. Why? Because now you can actually have freaking tractors driving your crops from the field. They're quite slow. They only go 30 kilometers per hour, but you have different types of them. You can even use tractors to deliver your materials. You can use tractors to deliver your coal or whatever you need, bauxite. You have your... Wow, this looks like a fertilizer spreader, but it's actually not. This is a snow plow. And then you have your classic tractor with chisel plow, I believe, here. And of course you have the one with the tanks. They come in 3 colors, I believe, green, red and blue. We can quickly check them out here if I go for purchasing, and if I just go for the sewing, we have blue, green, red, blue, green and red with 3 colors, and I think Fortschritts also came in those 3 colors, so that's something new. This is 100% what I'm going to be using ASAP. I'm going to be getting these tractors. Now there's a big downside to these tractors. If you start in 1960, you're going to have to wait for 7 years until they are available to you, because production of these tractors was from 67 to 84. I'm going to be getting a license for those and be producing those big time. Anyway, Fortschritt tractors, ZT300, Mr. Iodar. You can see the link in description. You also have a description in Russian, German and English there. Mr. Nectar, Echtes Stück DDR SachsenAnhalt Brandenburg. I believe that means eastern part of the DDR. Or the border part of the DDR. Landscape of mid-Germany, including town names, resources, a lot of coal and iron in some areas, mostly in the south, 2 small spots of uranium and bauxite, and nearly no oil. Okay, so this is map. This is again second German mod, well, Germany mod. Complaint, first of all, I think the terrain is a little bit high. I think it's really like river banks are really high, so it's gonna be really hard to build any shipping industries around here, but not that you can actually even use it because some of the canals are narrow. But almost all the canals have the height a little bit higher than I would like. It could be that the real life area is also dotted with these canyons, maybe, I'm not really sure, but it looks quite realistic. He also put the names of the villages in the area here, so you can actually rebuild the local areas as you see fit. You have several border crossings. We're gonna check the map how it looks now. It's pretty flat-ish. We're gonna go to the mountainous side in the south. These hills are not huge mountains that are like impassable. Well, you can actually build around this. It's quite challenging with all these rivers dotting the area or slicing the area, and you have several of nice infrastructure projects, especially outside of our borders. But let's check the resources. So coal, heavily supplied by coal. This is really good and realistic for this area. Germany has a lot of coal reserves. Iron would be the same. Of course, it's in a little bit different spots. I think you have a couple of overlapping spots with iron and coal, especially here in the north mountainous region. So if you want to start there, and there's even a border crossing there with the Soviet republics, so you can start on your exports ASAP. Oil, like they mentioned, it's barely existent or non-existent, so that's going to be a little bit of importing. And of course you have uranium, as mentioned in the description. There's a big source of uranium over here. That would be just in front of us here on the riverside, and then we have a little bit of bauxite here and there, but you're gonna have to fight for it. Usually it's in the mountains there. So it's a really nice map. You have a lot of border connections, so it shouldn't be too hard to import and export stuff, and especially infrastructure outside of the map is quite developed, which is nice eye candy, nice thing to see. But anyway, this is going to be Mr. Nectar's link in the description of this map. I'm gonna be definitely playing a little bit on this map as soon as I'm done with this video, and I'm gonna be enjoying it a little bit more. But anyway, that's it. We have Mr. Robs, Mr. Wickham coming in 2 times in this video. We have new Fortschritt tractors, which I'm going to be using definitely. Mr. Gorbachev's huge tower. Check out all the buildings, all the links, all the mods in the description, and check out other mods as well. We have a wonderful community, guys. Use it. Use it. They're amazing people doing this. Guys, have a nice Monday. See you in the next one. Bye bye.